of the evening, scheduled for 12 rounds for the undisputed welterweight championship of the world. The referee for this bout is Octavio Meiran. Introducing first, in the red corner, he's wearing the multicolored trunks and weighs 146.5 pounds. His professional record, an unblemished one, 27 consecutive victories, 15 by KO. He is ranked #1 in the world in the welterweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, from London, England, let's have a hand for Lloyd Honeygahn. And his opponent in the blue corner, weighing 146.5 pounds in the red trunks with gold trim, undefeated 25-0, 20 by KO. He's from Fort Worth, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated, undisputed welterweight champion of the world, Donald, the Lone Star Henry.
So the referee there, Octavio Meiran of Mexico, just giving them the final rundown. He's refereed fights in Britain, but he's kept it short, and what a good idea that is, because they've got enough to worry about, and they should know the rules by now. WBC 12-round distances, because Honeygahn is the #1 contender, and it's a mandatory defense by Curry, his 8th of this welterweight championship. Both came in at 10 stone 6.5. And at the introductions, I must say, Lloyd Honeygahn looked as relaxed as you would expect for such a big event as this one. The first World Championship in this showroom at Caesars in Atlantic City. So now let's see whether the European champion, the unbeaten Honeygahn, can prove mobile, as manager Mickey Duff has been saying, that he thinks he'll give Curry his most difficult fight so far. And my verbal sparring partner here, the former world champion Jim Watt, has actually sparred with Honeygahn, not for this fight, of course, but some time ago, and he's emphasizing how difficult he is to hit. So, having said that, of course, we've marveled occasionally at this sort of gunfighter technique of Curry, the way he stands in front of an opponent, daring him, even though he's a good puncher, to throw punches so that he can strike with his nickname Cobra with a counter. Well, he's coming out sharp and confident, Jim Honeygahn, isn't he?
Yeah, well, Honeygahn is the one who wants to find confidence. I'm sure he's never lacked confidence in the past. He's undefeated. But he's facing a man people are hailing as a superstar. So if he can get himself a good start in the first round, it'll give himself a lot of confidence. And this is a good, sharp start from Honeygahn.
So he's trying to dazzle Curry anyway with the sequin trunks, Honeygahn. So we wonder now with the arguments or the debate sometimes whether Curry can still get down to the 10 stone 7 pound division and retain all the strength. And they say he has to work hard to do it, but he keeps doing it. Off the right hand, a bit long there, that one from Curry. Just trying to feint a bit there, Curry, to draw Honeygah's lead and counter. He's got that hunter's patience all the time, Curry gives the impression, Jim.
Yeah, he gives the impression that as though he's ready to strike at any second, and that grinds and wears down some of his opponents. He's always directly in front of them, yet so difficult to land with clean punches himself, although Honeygahn is doing very well at this stage.
What I admire about Honeygahn is the way he's come out and try and take the fight a bit to Curry in the opening round. He hasn't got on his bike at all. So in Curry's corner there, as I say, he's at 25 on the run, unbeaten. And he's actually parting for the man who's that's him in the glasses there, Dave Corman. He's staying with him for a couple of more fights, and then he's moving camps apparently. Won the vacant championship from a Korean. That was when Sugar Ray Leonard gave up the title in '83. But he took a count in that one against the Korean. There it is. This gives you another bit of information there. He does it early, doesn't he? He's one of his favourite sayings is walk softly, carry a big stick. So there's Honeygahn now. As I say, also unbeaten. You can't knock that. So they get the buzzer or the whistle to get the seconds out of the ring for round 2. And a very encouraging start by Lloyd Honeygahn. 6 years a pro, remember, and defeated the #1 Horace Shufford to get this mandatory defence by Curry. Well, that's a punch Honeyghan's going to remember for a long time, and certainly Curry is. What a good shot, Jim.
That was a perfect right-hand punch. And Curry is in trouble. Curry's backing off. When have you ever seen Curry backing off like this before? Badly hurt there, a tremendous punch. That will give Honeygahn all the confidence he needs. He's looking for the repeat now.
Dare he stand and trade with Curry? He can afford to at this stage with that punch going in. He's reminded the world champion that this is not an easy one, and manager Mickey Duff with Honeygahn said before the fight it would be his toughest fight, and at this point it is. So the old-fashioned 1-2, the left hand followed by the right again there by Honeygahn. He's coming out amateur training there from the South London Fisher Club those days. That's where he took up boxing. Oh, he doubled up the left hook a little bit there, Curry, though. A little more authority in that one. Well, that one's going to be marked down for a long time, Jim. That one right hand of Honeygahn. Can he do it again?
That's the punch that's going to give Honeygahn all the confidence in the world. He knows, we were speaking about Superman before the contest, but now Honeygahn knows he has the power to upset and seriously hurt him. So that's just exactly what he needs, especially early in the contest, the second round.
Well, Bobby Neal certainly helped Alan Minter in coaching him for World Championships. Can he do it again with Honeygahn? He's just joined him in recent months. Oh, he's trying it again, Honeygahn, right at the end of the round. He's got half a minute to do it. Curry hasn't been shaken up like this, I shouldn't think, since his amateur days. 9 years since he's lost a contest. So running out of time in the second, Honeygahn, but there's a lot of authority in his punching, and Curry knows it.
Give me water, dude. Give me some water. Give me water.
So I don't know why the Mexican referee went over there to Curry's corner. That's a bit unusual. Meanwhile, he's collecting. Let's have a look at the replay now, Jim. There's the right hand.
A cracking right hand, yeah. Curry did well to keep up right then, but for the rest of the round, all the authoritative work was coming from Honeygahn, and Curry finished the round in severe trouble. He seemed concussed. That's a perfect shot. Very surprised that Curry didn't go over. He managed to get himself back into the round again, but never troubled Honeygahn at all. And right at the end of the round, Honeygahn caught him with another couple of shots and had him all over the place.
Up early from the stool there again in round 3. Honeygahn had to be held off by the referee almost. What an encouraging start for the British European champion. Won all 3 championships against Sylvester Mitty last November. it's not a question of whether Curry may or may not be weight weakened. It's whether he can take the punches from Honeygahn. I don't think that is part of the business now, really, Jim, with Curry.
There's a little change in the eyes. Honeygahn looks like the hunter now, and Curry looks like the hunted. You can see that a little bit of hesitation in Curry's eyes. He knows he needs a bit of success. He has to discourage Honeygahn a bit. But how he's going to do that, I don't know, because Honeyghan's really rolling now.
I certainly underestimated Honeyghan's confidence coming into the ring, having seen him, as I say, right back since his boys club and junior days. I wondered whether he might freeze a bit, but I'm wrong, and I'm pleased to say it too.
We haven't seen the viciousness in Curry's punches that we've come to expect. Part of that is probably because Honeyghan's kept him on the defensive, and Honeygahn is always difficult to hit with clean punches because of the reflexes he has.
And you can certainly say that with authority enough, Jim, apart from being a ex-world champion yourself, by having sparred frequently with Lloyd Honeygahn. A little bit of anxiety coming from the champion's cornermen, saying pick the pace up now. At the moment, he can only do what Honeygahn will let him do. Oh, and they were tough punches to the body. That's the first time, Jim, that Curry's got through with some chops that really looked as though they may have hurt Honeygahn. He's trying to claim a little bit. Hang on a second there.
Yeah, and Curry knows that too. Curry's looking for another one.
But he came back well with a left hook there, Honeygahn. Yeah, he's shooting that little jab, uppercut to the body there, Curry. So that's where fitness really counts in this game now, is to be able to absorb the punches to the body.
You take a shot off him, you're well prepared for that, aren't you? You understand? That's the main thing.
When you step back, cover. Take it right to flip back again.
Put him together. Put him together.
Enemy, put the pressure on him. Yeah.
So let's have a look at that replay now. As you see, they're the body shots coming in from Curry. That was a good spell from the champion there, and Honeygahn was quite pleased to hang on, but he came back at the end of the round. Coming out then for the fourth of a scheduled 12 for the World Welterweight Championship, WBC version. And a good start by Honeygahn, but midway through that third round, Don Curry just reminding him that that's why he's unbeaten for 9 years and 7 defenses.
Most of Curry's previous opponents have been standing off and throwing one punch at a time. I think the reason Honeyghan's been so successful is putting punches together and keeping Curry on his back foot, but Curry had that little bit of success which he badly needed to get his own confidence back in where it should be.
I think Curry's too much of a good pro to underestimate somebody, but I suspect he might have done there, and he ran onto that left hook. Honeygahn certainly listening to the advice of the cornermen there, Messrs. Duff and Neal, to keep the head rolling a bit. He's taken a couple of Curry's best shots to the body. Well, certainly so far, Curry's lived up to all he promised that he would do, Jim. I wonder whether he was just sort of whispering in the dark a bit, as sometimes boxers do, but he's carried out what he said he would.
Yeah, well, see, I think the big difference, Honeyghan's going into the fight knowing it's going to be a real tough fight, whereas maybe Curry beginning to think there's nobody in the welterweight division to trouble him. Therefore, his attitude wasn't right, a little bit lethargic, if you like, in the first couple of rounds. But Curry at all times is looking for big shots, whereas Honeyghan is keeping more fluent in his move. There goes the big right hand from Curry again. He's looking for this all the time.
Yeah, he's started to open up a bit more, Curry. But he's bobbing, weaving Honeyghan the whole time now, trying to stay away from him. If he can just keep a fair distance from that right hand, by the time it reaches us, some of the sting's gone, not all of it. No doubt about it, Jim. Honeyghan's fought a smart fight in this first 4 rounds, hasn't he? He's done the right things most of the time. Of course, you get hit against good fighters anyway.
He certainly has. I was speaking to Mickey Duff the other day, and he reckoned that if the fight was pretty close after 6 rounds, then Honeyghan had a great chance, because everybody knows Curry's been struggling to make welterweight for quite some time, and it's going to be very close after 6 rounds if it goes on like this.
Be better. You're doing great.
Put them together. Put them together.
You're in beautiful shape. The body's really good. Take
And you feel good, right? Good. That's it, lad.
So coming out for the 5th, and Curry remained on the stool, Jim, you notice, right until the last second, whereas Honeyghan came up on the 10-second whistle. So they've been doing their best to pump confidence into Honeyghan in between rounds there, but I tell you, he hasn't really needed it. Caught him there again, and his legs are starting to disobey him a bit. And Honeyghan knows it. He's going to try and plant that right hand again. And if he does it, I think this is probably the upset. I nearly was going to say of the century, but certainly close to it, Jim.
Yeah, well, he's got him all over the place again. Honeyghan has been troubling Curry a lot more with his punches than what we expected. A great round for Honeyghan here.
I can imagine now it's going through Curry's mind, what's going on here? They didn't tell me this fellow was as good as this. And he's bleeding from the mouth now, the champion. And Honeyghan getting a fair share of support from what seems like some London supporters on the stage here at Caesars. Oh. Good round indeed now, midway through the 5th for Honeyghan. No way has Curry been in trouble in any of his fights as he is in this one. So he can get a bit right hand happy there, Honeyghan, and get away with it. Jim?
This has been a tremendous round for Honeyghan. He's never made a mistake. He's never taken a decent punch in return. He's had Curry all over the place. Curry's legs are not looking good at all. He doesn't have any power in his own work. This has been a tremendous round for Honeyghan. This round, and if Honeyghan just keeps what he's doing for the next round, I don't see that Curry can come back. A good left hook from Curry, but no conviction in his work so far.
They're laying on a bit inside now. That's why the Mexican referee is getting between them. What a good round for Honeyghan this has turned out. And I think for a change, in fact, not for a change, for the first time in his life, Curry's pleased to hear the bell. Well, they'll have to work really hard there in the champion's corner. Now, replay there. There was the right hand. It was long, but it got the message. No matter how far it travelled, Curry got the message. The overhead look at this replay, Jim, now, the right hand coming in.
Yeah, bang on the button. And again, Curry lucky to keep upright. Oh, Honeygahn is boxing tremendously well, far better than I expected.
So coming up for the 6, just getting some of the water off Honeygahn there. I think he can slip punches without any aids. And he looks as though he's going to carry on where he left off, Jim, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, he's really got his shoe on the road. He's got far more confidence at this stage in the fight than he even dreamed he would have. Everything's going his way. He's only taken one good shot in the whole of the fight. He's troubled Curry a few times, so there's no reason now why he shouldn't fully believe in himself that he's going to pick up the title.
Well, I tell you, the Texan gunfighter's in a bit of trouble here. Well, it's a question of having shot the bolt, really, but it's just misfiring the whole time. Not the whole time, but by his standards. When you think how he stood and out-punched Colin Jones, who's noted for his punching power, murdered Milton McCrory, knocked out his last challenger, Edwin Rodriguez, a tough man. Looking for openings the whole time now, Honeygahn. He's got Curry on the defensive.
Curry's cut on the eye ridge. Left eye, Curry's
cut under the left eye. So not only pride being hurt, but body as well. And the referee stopping to have a look at that. Is he going to call a doctor? No. Shouldn't really wipe it away with his hand, I would have thought. It's just above the eye. It's in an awkward position, that cut, Jim.
Yep. It's in a position that could get far worse. Curry landed a good overhand right. Bang on target. Caught Honeygahn a bit high, but didn't trouble him in the least, which is good news.
Well, I tell you, at this stage of the game, you fancy saying, well, we should start lighting the beacons, I think, for Britain to become a world champion, because he really has dictated the last 2 rounds anyway, and he started off well enough as well.
Any shots that Curry does land, Honeygahn's taken them high on the forehead. He hasn't taken a clean punch in the chin all night long.
And there's lots of oohs and ahs there from the American crowd as Honeygahn lays into the champion. He's just got to have that professional's care a bit now, Honeygahn. He's got this championship well within his grasp, but he mustn't make mistakes. And he looks so weary, shaking his head as he goes back to the corner there. And I'm wondering if it all could be over as the doctor comes in as well. And there's a lot of consternation there in the corner. You can see the referee looking over. And it looks as though they're sending for a second opinion. Another doctor coming in. As we look at the replay there, well, it may have been a head clash, who knows, that caused it. And he's become champion of the world, Honeygahn. And he's just thrown himself across the ring. Mickey Duff's lying on the floor with him. It is really incredible, because that is one of the biggest turn-ups, I'm going to say it, in the history of boxing. Because Don Curry, let's face it, was unbeaten and looked unbeatable. And this fellow, Lloyd Honeygahn from London, really did the business in every way, and I've never seen such a joyous scene at an end of a fight as you will with that one. And it looks as though the doctors have stopped it, or they could have even retired him in the corner. And we knew, Jim, at the end of that round, the way Curry was looking, that he didn't want to go on with that fight, whatever the extent of the injury.
Nothing to do with the injury. Curry's heart was out of the fight. It's been hurt all night long. Tremendous performance from Honeygahn. The official decision or verdict may be cut-eye decision, but forget that. Honeygahn proved he was the better man all night long, no trouble at all. It was the boss from start to finish, and you'll have to look at Curry's face. He knows it as well as Honeygahn does.
Well, this is a time of my life when it's a pleasure to say I couldn't have been more wrong, as they say, because I really didn't think Honeygahn could get it together to beat this fellow Curry like that. And it's a pleasure to say you're wrong under those circumstances, isn't it, Jim? Yeah,
delighted. We reckoned Curry was a superstar. We've watched him against Colin Jones and other top-class fighters. We knew Honeygahn being undefeated, had the arrogance of an undefeated fighter, but we weren't sure it was in the same league. See, here we go again.
See, that's where they met together. I don't know whether he's claiming that was the clash that caused the cut or not.
But I tend to forget about the cut. Honeygahn was the better man tonight, and he's the champion because he was the better man.
So there they are then, putting the WBC belt around Honeygahn's waist.
Over the left thigh, stops the bout at the end of the 6th round. The winner by technical knockout and new undisputed welterweight champion of the world from London, England, Lloyd Honeygahn.
So that was it, an official stoppage there by the referee on the advice of 2 doctors. And Honeygahn there, the undisputed world champion. It's, I tell you, still